Hey! So, Scalar, one of the most popular chord progression tools, has been updated to its version 3, and it looks very promising. Now, knowing plugin boutique, there's a lot of advertising and hype, so this video will answer the question if it's as good as they say. Also, I aim to show you for who is this plugin and if you need it. So let's start. If you enjoy seeing my take on these interesting new tools, please give a like to the video. Now, if you don't know anything about Scalar, I recommend you to watch this other video where I explain everything that it has to offer. But still, very basically, you can choose a scale and start building your own chord progressions here at the bottom, or you can choose presets based on genre. Now, this is only the surface because this plugin goes deep with chord progression theory. You will be using chords that you never imagined that you will use in a production, and even some techniques and scale that maybe you never heard of. But first, let's check the new features of Scalar 3. One new feature is that you can use plugins inside Scalar. I know that you can just use Scalar to route MIDI to another track, but now you can load up your favorite instruments to get a better sound out of it. I mean, the sounds that come with Scalar are pretty nice, but they are for Audition. Now, what I find really interesting is that now it has a full arranger. Here you can create different tracks with different instruments. You can see that now you have in MIDI the chord progression that you are building. And not only that, you can also build your own MIDI clips. This is great to start adding some melodies, and also it has very nice melody presets. Not only that, I find it really interesting that it has a mixer with inserts on each track. Now, this is because one of the scopes of Scalar 3 is that you can use it as a standalone version without your DAW. Of course, maybe you won't make a fully produced track on it, but it's nice when you want to build ideas and to hear how everything is going to sound together. Now, of course, as I said, this is also useful for beginners and it has many features regarding that. So for instance, you will see that some of these chords are in this blue color, others are on this grayish blue, and the others are on gray. That depends on the amount of notes of each chord that are part of the scale that you have chosen. Now, the great thing is that this is not telling you that you cannot use these chords on your progression. Of course you can, but it's a visual aid to know which chords are part of the scale. Now, with that in mind, another new feature is the chord constellation, or this Explore tab. It will show you different chords that you can audition, and then you start creating a chord progression with these suggestions. In the center are the chords that sound more normal, quote unquote, and outside of it are chords that are more risky, but they can sound very nice too. If you really are very inspired and you don't know which chords to use, you can click on this light bulb icon right here and it will show you different possibilities to continue with your progression. It suggests you a lot of different chords that you can audition. As you can see by the colors, some of these chords don't have notes that are part of the scale, so you can end up with something more interesting. I suggest you to choose maintain movement so the differences in pitch are not too wide. If you're interested in Scalar 3 and you want to buy it or to upgrade from Scalar 2, consider using my plugin boutique affiliate link down in the description. That way a little commission goes back to me and you get a new plugin. Of course, only if you're going to buy the plugin anyway. Now, of course, when you build a chord progression, you can keep it very simple, but if you want to spice it up, you can start adding different type of chords. That means using 7ths, 9ths, 11ths and 13ths, but also suspended chords, augmented chords, inversions, and many different voicings. An easy way to visualize this is on the colors page. Here you can choose up to 5 different types of voicing, so you can start audition how each one sounds. For instance, I made this progression with C major, E minor, A minor, and G major. It sounds nice, but I feel it lacks some spice. So in the colors page, I have chosen the 7th, the suspended, the 9th, 7th inverted, and voicing 5. Now what I can do is start comparing the original chord of my progression with these different variants. then I just replace it and start building a more interesting progression. So now my progression is E major on the second inversion, E minor on the second inversion, A minor ninth, and G7. Of course, the feeling is a bit different now, but I like it a lot. Now, the great thing about Scaler is that you can drag and drop the chords into your project, so you can use them in any other track. Now, still, we are just scratching the surface of this plugin, so if you want me to go even deeper, let me know in the comments and I can make a follow-up video. I don't want this video to be that long, so for now I will tell you the features that interest me the most. One advanced concept in music theory is modulation, and here you have different types of modulation. This is a feature that I think that if you're a beginner, you will need a tutorial to understand. Because first, you need to grasp the concept. So if you know how to use this concept, this is a workflow booster, at least for me it is. Now, modal interchange basically means using a chord from another scale mode that is using the same tonic note. As you can see, it's C, but it shows you all the different modes that the scale of C can have. We have major, which is Ionic, Dorian, Phrygian, minor, which is Aeolian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Locrian. So if my progression is C minor, E flat major, F minor, and G minor, I can make it more interesting by maybe changing the second and the third notes. So for instance, I can replace the E flat major for an E flat minor, or a G minor for a G diminished. And as this is very visual and you can audition each of the chords that are present, it's a very nice way to explore the possibilities of modal interchange. So I can see people using this for composing entire pieces. For me, it's more like an idea scribbling machine, and that's great too, of course. I mean, I know my music theory, but on my own, I maybe will never use a complex chord like this. Or maybe sometimes I'm too afraid of getting out of scale. So thanks to Scaler, I can actually do that. Not only that, maybe it's just me, but I feel that as I'm using Scaler, I'm also learning music theory. So if you're a beginner, the way I feel it is not a creativity replacement or in any way, it's something that's helpful and that will actually teach you many things about music. And if you're an advanced user, this is a workflow booster. I mean, definitely this plugin is for everyone. So for me, this is not a chord progression generator that you set and forget. It is a chord progression builder, and a very good one, by the way. There's nothing wrong with chord generators, but I like to go deep on chord customization. So what's left is that you tell me in the comments what do you think about Scaler 3, and also what do you think about these chord progression tools. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time, and bye bye!